As far as proud sports go, bowls is right up there. A nationwide event, bowls has predecessed some of the biggest sports in the country, with professional clubs being made even before football. I spoke to Cheltenham Bowls Club treasurer Pete Babbage about what everyone involved at Bowls Club does.
The secretary of Cheltenham Bowling Club, Suffolk Square. Basically my role is to ensure that the club runs smoothly. I don't do it all. I just have to make sure that we've got the right people in the right places, and then we carry on from there. So we've got each year we have a men's and ladies captain. They run all the competitions. From that role, there's entries into Bowls England and Gloucester, the GBA, Gloucester Bowls Association. The captains will make sure the fixture lists are up for the people to enter the competitions weekly, monthly, and county-wise and nationals. We then got an estate manager that sees the overseeing of the greens. And the surroundings. We've got a green keeper that comes in, cuts in at the height of summer 7 days a week. In the earlier days before we start, it's probably 2 or 3 times a week from that side of it. We've got a barman that runs the bar. We've got a cleaner. But the club itself is run by lots of people, including a treasurer who will make sure all the figures are added up and sorted out from there.
Most parts of a bowls team and maintenance is simple, with people being able to stopgap and help out in many ways. One way this isn't true, however, is with the greens. They require plenty of attention, but they also require heavy, expensive equipment, such as top-of-the-range mowers and rollers, according to Pete.
The most important thing about the club are the greens. We're lucky we've got 2. If they're not looked after, then they won't play well, and therefore membership will drop off. And it's just making sure that we need people to use the greens to make them better from a playing point of view.
One thing that certainly remains consistent and in the club's control is getting people into the sport. Something Pete is proud of at the club, with people of all ages playing across the greens.
I mean, they'll think there's there's a thing that the general consensus is it's only old people that play bowls. Here we've got people aged 8 to 90 plus. And it's all about, the friendship that the club offers. Also, out on the green, you can be as competitive as you want. You can do it socially, and you can do it almost when you want. But it's lovely being out on especially a summer's evening with the weather, and you play your game and then come into the bar and have a drink after and watch others who are still playing on the green.
A major problem in skittles is the inability to promote itself to younger people, with the demographic being much older than it should be. This shouldn't be difficult, as it's a good sport to play, as is bowls, but that's something the latter has done well in recent years, especially at the Cheltenham Bowls Club.
I mean, we've been exceptionally fortunate in that we've got a good group of youngsters. We've got national and international players, but they're not prima donnas. They're nice people. They talk to others. They're there to help, and we just encourage all ages to join and become part of a good social as well as sporting club. Here, I mean, in Cheltenham Bowls Club, we've been very fortunate. We've Tony Alcock's been a member, who was world champion, won gold medals at the Olympics, and nationally he's one of the best known stars of the past now. But we've also got other players that played with him that have come back to the club and said, they won their gold medals and everything, but they want to put some back in at the grassroots. and help new players to enjoy the sport.
One major advantage bowls has is that it's on TV throughout the year, including the World Championships. Pete believes as good as this is, that it can't be the sole reason it's doing well.
It could be. I mean, it really depends. It's more about people. It's trying to encourage people to join of all ages, because it's like all sports. The earlier you start, you know, the basics are there. We've been fortunate that we've got four youngsters that have played here and introduced by their grandfathers, their fathers, and mothers to play, and they now, although they're in their teens, some are playing for England, some are playing, they're playing for the county. They are exceptionally good bowlers, and we play against them. It's not they're exceptionally good. You're all sort of in the mix. If you get a competition and you're drawn, you can play all ages and everybody's got an even chance.
One of the proudest moments at the Cheltenham Bowls Club in particular in recent years came in 2022. The club won the Men's National Top Club competition, or as Pete called it, the FA Cup of Bowls. The competition win was helpful in gaining plenty of new players, but it's evident to see why it works, with the format lending itself to financial sustainability, but also time, with travel not being extensive throughout.
2022, we won. We went through. We entered the top club competition, which is done through Bowls England. That throughout the country or throughout England, it's all. Any team can enter. There were nearly 700 sides that entered. It's done on a town, a county, and then west of England, and on from there, with the finals culminating at Leamington. And fortunately, we got through and won the final. So it's been a great boost, not only for Cheltenham Bowls Club, but for Cheltenham bowling clubs, which there's Spa, Wadden, and Bishop's Cleeve, and it's heightened the profile for Gloucestershire bowls. So it's just been a real buzz for us.
Pete is also an avid player of skittles, playing for the Albion House in the centre of town. Although lowly in the leagues, the club was promoted to the 4th tier this season, but that isn't satisfactory when you are struggling for numbers every game. Although knowing how Bowls promotes itself, Pete is interested to see if Skittles can change in the near future to get people wanting to play as soon as possible.
The Skittles has been, I still play Skittles, although I also play Bowls, but it's been a good lads' night out, and or lads and ladies, but it's been difficult because a lot of the pubs are closing down. All the way along, it's gradually gone down. I don't know how. I've never really thought about Skittles and how to almost reinvent itself, but it's trying to encourage people to play. And previously, as kids, your dads played, you went along and stuck to earn a bit of extra money. You saw it done, and you naturally then progressed to play and go from there. But it's a shame that it's on the Cheltenham side, when it was so big, it's gone down drastically. But hopefully it can hold its own hopefully they can make a bit more effort to try and give it a push,
Many of the greats have played at the Cheltenham Bowls Club, including Lee Williamson, who won the singles champion competition only a decade ago, and also Tony Alcock, who has earned many an international honour with England. Pete certainly left food for thought throughout conversing with him. It's clear to see an emotional attachment is made when you play bowls for a club of such calibre, and it means a lot to him being the treasurer of the Bowls Club. One thing for certain is that they have a plan in getting people to play, and it works. The club is in a beautiful area of the town, a peaceful area that you would want to spend time in, but it also tries to help out the other clubs across the town, so you can see the unity, which is so positive. In terms of what Skittles can do to improve, it's hard to say if it's just one thing or if they need to change plenty more, but one thing they certainly need to do is start promoting their game before it goes extinct. But where Skittles may struggle, Bowls excels, and it will certainly be interesting to see if the impacts of one will have major impacts on the other as time goes on.